to another episode of Pretty Financial. We have a crazy one today. As you can see, the fear and greed index is at 14. It is one of the most fearful times that I've seen in recent history in the stock market. Things are looking pretty bad, but we're going to cover a few important things here today. State of the market this week. It's March 11th, Tuesday at 4:20 a.m. And we are in Trump game 2.0. It's all about tariffs, inflation, the market crash, correction, collapse, recession. It is not good for day traders. If you're an investor, long-term investor, these are the times you live for to buy in with extreme fear when people are running for the hills and they're scared. Because if we look here at a few of the major indexes, we have the VU is one of our favorites. We'll put up real fast. Currently trading at 516 pre-market down to 515. So you can see these drops. We'll put it right here real quick. 515. It's about there. So we're at an almost 9% drop from the all-time high. It's very, very important to know. Over here we had let's grab the info line. It's at like a 9%, 9.5% drop, and that was August 24th. Then we'll go back to there's another one July 23rd to October 23, another 10% correction there. So these things happen on average, every 2 years. The market's going to have a bit of a collapse. So you can see there's a few there that have happened throughout our history. And then we can go back a little bit further and we'll see 2022's collapse as well. Codes, I mean, there's a few here to be honest, right? We'll grab this one from the top to the low right here. 25%. So again, the S&P 500 will have a correction of 10% every 2 years. A full-blown market crash, that's more than significant drops over 20% happened once every several years, I suppose, when there's a recession fear. And here's a big one, COVID-19 drop, of course. Let's put that on real fast. A 35% drop, 10,000 points. So yes, we're in extreme fear. People are terrified right now. Things do not look good. We have to zoom out and realize that in the bigger picture, we haven't seen anything yet. The S&P is only down about 9%. Yeah, 9%. So it can get a lot worse for sure. Bitcoin is rallying a little bit overnight here, but it'll probably crash down into a red morning when it opens up. The S&P 500 index, likewise, is having a little bit of a slight rally, but I mean, it's probably going to drop again because there is no. The bottom line is we don't know where the floor is. You can't time this. You can't predict where the bottom's going to be, right? No one knows. But what we can look at is just current sentiment. And everything's down. It's negative. Fear of recession and market collapse is growing quite a bit online. If you just look up Google Word Tracker, how many times is a word being used, you'll see that these words are becoming more and more popular, especially all over X as well. We're seeing all the conversation about we're now entering into a stock market correction, which could turn into a market crash or a market collapse. And then, of course, a full-blown recession is possible too. Now, Trump wants these things. This is what we're seeing all over X. Let me jump this real quick. More and more people are beginning to talk about this, and it's all over YouTube as well. If you look up YouTube videos for the stock market, you'll see it all over there as well. People are beginning to talk about how we're seeing a stock market crash because Trump wants to drive down interest rates. I saved a few of them right here. 4.7 trillion dollars has been wiped off the market cap in the last few weeks. Crazy. So again, good times to be buying in here. Good times to be dollar cost averaging in and buying some index funds for cheap and not being too scared. You know, you want to make sure you're well allocated and you're being protected to the downside. Trump calling for people to buy Teslas to support Elon Musk because Tesla has been one of the biggest hit companies. Tesla has been absolutely demolished. Um, it's having a bit of a life in the pre-market, which is interesting. I didn't expect that. It was down pretty bad here, 219, and then as of about 30 minutes ago, it's just surged. It's interesting how that works, just constantly up and down. Let's go to the Kosobi letter real quick. He's pretty good. So yeah, tomorrow we have the Nasdaq futures 350 red day reversal, down 12% 13 days. Nasdaq 100. Total US put options lowest ever. Yeah, so we're seeing it right now. We're probably close to the bottom, I would say. But again, like you can't time these things. There's no point even trying to time these things. I think the most important thing to look out for is um, tonality. Trump, right? Trump is by far the number one person driving this stock market collapse. Why? Because he wants the Fed to pivot aggressively and start cutting their interest rates to lower the 10-year rate as well, so that the American government can basically refinance that 7 trillion of debt that is due later this year. So that's his goal, lower that down, encourage borrowing, encourage refinancing, encourage lower rates to refinance the debt. To get that, he's inflicting maximum pain. We saw that as well with his interview on Sunday where he talked about he's not even looking at the stock market. He wants it to come down so he can cause it to come back up, right? So that's what's happening. Trump Games 2.0 is what he's after. We know it to be true. When will the stock market officially be in recovery mode? I would say once we hear him talking how it's time to get the market going, it's time to pump the stocks, it's time to invest, it's time to ease off on tariffs. Once Trump changes his words and his tonality, that'll be a pretty strong signal that he's done putting his foot on the neck of the stock market when he starts talking life, basically life into the market. Right now, he's not. Right now, he's talking death and destruction over the stock market and causing it to collapse. Um, and then, of course, we'll see stability in the Mag 7, stability in the index funds. You'll see that begin to like curve up a little bit. You'll see new higher highs, right? And the lower lows. So look out for those things. Some more interesting stuff here. Officially ended its this is a big one, I think, by the Kosobi letter here. The Nasdaq 100 has officially ended its streak of 497 trading days above its 209 moving average, second longest in history. That's pretty important right there. And this is interesting. We're in the current weekly time period where things are very, very important. Every time the index is closed below its 209 moving average after a long run and subsequently dropped over 3.5 weeks percent within 2 weeks, a bear market followed. So we're in that period of time to see what way this market's going to shake out. And these recessions can be short-lived. They can, they can last pretty short term. So that's where we are. We're keeping an eye on this. We have a few important things today. We've got some federal data coming out. We'll be keeping an eye on the CPI information today. Pretty sure there was CPI data today, wasn't there? The red book will be interesting. I must have got confused my days. What is the probability of a rate cut by the Fed? Still 5% chance of a change. It's actually down a little bit than it was a week ago. I would expect that to change significantly as we're just getting absolutely hammered here. Federal fund rates, 5.3, 4.3, 4.3, coming down a little bit, which is good. It's like to see 5, yeah. So these are things that we're going to keep an eye on for sure. And we'll finish up over here. Tesla, as you can see, down significantly up in the pre-market. Nvidia is getting wiped out pretty hard too, but it's up in the pre-market. So yeah, we're seeing a bit of life here, but will that hold to the market open? Probably not. Probably not. We'll see how this goes. And then some of the most beloved stocks, of course, who'd get absolutely roasted. Absolutely roasted. This is a great company. They're very volatile to the market and crypto swings, but really, really awesome company to buy and hold the next 5 or 10 years. I'm a big believer in what Hood's doing. Micro Tragedy, as it's called. Dear gosh, look at this one. From 473 all the way down to like 239, absolutely destroyed. I'd probably buy in later once it goes down further. I think Bitcoin's going to go down further. SOFI, 1120s. I mean, it was down in the pre-market pretty bad as well. Yeah, 1020. Yeah, I saw that this morning and now it's back up. Palantir is finding its correction, but Palantir is, I wouldn't touch Palantir. I think we all know how overbought it was, right? We all know how parabolic it went. So it is good to see that it's testing out those levels in the 70s, but it rightfully, in my opinion, and many people's opinion, Palantir should be testing this area right here. This is where it should be. In these 50s, testing that 200-day moving average right there. We'll see whenever that happens. And then RKLB is a very popular stock. It's coming down to its 200-day moving average. We'll see if it can test these 13s. Quite a big void, big gap right here that I might want to test and fill for a few days. So just know that's where we are. We are in a crazy stock market. And remember, if it's 10% or more, we're in a correction. 20% or more, we're in a bear market. If it's a 50% or more, it's a market crash. So we're not in a market crash yet, nor depression. Depression is 80% or more. And there's circuit breakers. Remember, there is circuit breakers here. We could see a circuit breaker deployed if the market falls significantly below like a 7% low of in the previous day's close. We'll have to look at that a little bit. But yeah, we are fully in a correction right now. That's where we are. We may hit a bear market if this today and tomorrow this week seems like it's going to get even worse. I do think there's going to be worse to come. I think there's worse to come because Trump's not finished with his agenda. He wants those interest rates to come down. So appreciate that. Hope you all have a good day and we'll talk soon. Bye.